Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick. This week, I'm going to show you how I put together the Master Sword, Link Sword from Zelda. Very exciting. All right, so what are we doing today? To get started, I'm making the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda. I found this model on Thingiverse a very long time ago. Like, this file has been on my list for a very long time. It's literally been in a tab on my browser for weeks and weeks, almost months probably. I've had it in a list forever. I basically wanted to put together the battle-worn version of the sword. I didn't want the pretty brand new sword. I thought it would be way cooler to have the battle-worn, worn-out version of the sword. There's all the battle damage, there's all the nicks in the sword. There's a bunch of chunks taken out of the crossbar up here in the bottom. It's so much more fun to look at. So let's go back and I'll show you how I put this one together. So I got all 10 of my pieces laid out right here. I got the 4 pieces for the blade, the 2 for the crossbar, the middle of the crossbar, the handle, and the pommel. I can't remember what this part's called. The part that goes right above the handle. I don't know what that's called. Upper handle, I guess. And I have a wooden dowel for the inner structure. This dowel is 33 and a quarter, but you could probably go with 33 and a half. That should be fine. I made it a little shorter just so I can be clear of any sort of fitting issues. So I took all of my pieces into Blender and I booleaned out a square hole. In Blender, I had to do that all with these connected. I just put the shapes inside, booleaned them out, and then I exported it from there. Basically every part that's part of the blade's going on now. The other parts I'm gonna have to end up sanding and assembling later because they're gonna be different colors. I also put registration marks on these guys just so I know what order I initially figured out how they go in, so I don't have to keep putting them on and off over and over and over again. Also, real quick, this is a project I've been working on for a couple of weeks and it's taking forever to put together because I'm having to outsource a couple of things. And my good friend Chris, he's been putting together some of these rubies. These are all resin rubies for me. This is also resin as well. I know it's kind of hard to see in the light, but if you guys know what this is from, tell me in the comments because it's exciting. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to finish this project. Hopefully it's soon. That'd be cool. What's funny is that there's a lot of damage to it, but the tip, totally fine. I'm gonna start sanding this down a little bit, get the edges, the surfaces prepped to get glued together. All right, so I got a quick, real quick. So this piece right here did not print correctly. So it's about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch too short, but I figured it was only so close to being done and I wasn't gonna waste all that plastic to reprint it over again because it is a big chunky piece. But basically they're all about the same height, so I'm only missing about 1/2 inch. I was sitting like this and then it fell over mid-print and was that close, and I'm like, you know what? I think I can deal with that. So I'm just gonna go ahead with this print anyway. That's why the top's not finished. That's why you can see the infill. So. I love the smell of super glue. It reminds me of college. This was a little complicated. This one I had to do a boolean right through the middle. This is a 1/2 inch square hole, right? And then I took a cylinder and I took it right through the middle. You can see it right in there. I also made a hole into here. I had it all put together in Blender and I made a dowel, Boolean dowel right through the whole thing. Now, if you do this, make sure you do it together and make sure you include this when you do the Booleans because I totally wasted a whole lot of plastic printing these guys without this little cutoff area. This cutoff area is really important because if you don't do it, then it won't be included in the finished piece and it won't allow you to get the crossbar all the way in there. So make sure you do that. And I just glue them on. You gotta sand all the pieces down that are not the sword. Okay, so what I've done so far is at this point I've now given it, like a light, mild coat of primer now. I did also attach this part of the blade to it because really it's going to be the same color as the blade except this part, the very top area right here, it's going to be different. But I'll be able to handle that, but I figured it'd be best to just attach it already anyway. This wooden square dowel is actually holding it pretty good and there's no bending of the model, so that's really nice. If you have an option to use a wooden square dowel or a dowel that is round, I would go with a square one because it seems to have less flexibility than otherwise. Definitely think about that if that is something you want to make. Definitely give that a shot. Try to see if I can fill in some of these cracks. And real quick, if you have the option to get a set of mini files like this, I would, because you can use like some real coarse sandpaper to get rid of the layer lines, but I am finding that these files are getting it so smooth, and then you paint over that and it becomes even smoother. Gets rid of all the layer lines. It's fantastic. I'm using the file for most of this, and then I'll go in with the sandpaper when I need a lighter effect. So. Doing some finishing priming real quick, then I'm going to move on to the handle, crossbar, and pommel with a metallic blue Rust-Oleum rattle can. It's really nice and shiny, you can see right there. It's so nice, so shiny, and it really sells that metallic blue. I'm gonna put some extra little flourishes on this by just changing up the color a little bit. I have a dark metallic blue on it right now. I was gonna put a lighter blue on it just to give it a little bit of a detail and a change of color shift on this guy. I think if I just paint it in a certain direction, it'll catch where I would need it to catch. I'll see if this works. Yeah, it only hits one side. I don't have to tape it off now. That'd be hard to tell. All right, so now I'm actually gonna paint the sword black. It previously was white and gray, but I'm gonna paint it black because I think it's gonna look a little bit better with the silver paint that I'm gonna put on there. Right here, I'm gonna be taping up the handle so I can paint the little leather wrappings on it green. So that's gonna be really nice. This color green that I got, Rust-Oleum. It's like a super high coverage rattle can. And I think it looks pretty nice. It's very popping. It pops. Now right here, I'm going to be using my Spastics Mirror Chrome on top of the black spray paint, the high gloss black spray paint. I'm using the Mirror Chrome on top of that. And I think for this procedure, this works a lot better than using graphite on top of the white, which initially was what I was going to do. But instead, I'm going to put the Mirror Chrome on top of the gloss black, and I think it turned out really good. Alright, so I've covered up all the blade parts, and I'm now going to cover up the blue area so I can get to only the part with the diamond, and I'm going to apply some gold leaf to that. I'm going to put as much gold leaf as I can on there until I cover up all the parts that I need to. I think it turned out pretty good. This is my first time using gold leaf actually. Of course, I've done some tests, but this was the first time on an actual piece, so that was a lot of fun, and I think it came out pretty good. It looks pretty authentic, I think. Alright, I'm gonna call that a day, and I got the gold leaf. The idea again is to make it look a little worn out, and then it looks damaged, like battle damaged. There's like gold leaf, so it's a little bit flaking off. It's been worn out a little bit. Tomorrow, I'm gonna clear coat it with my aqua gloss, and mainly for the blade, but I'm gonna just clear coat the whole thing, and then do some weathering. Alright, so I'm gonna start with a thin to medium coat of the aqua gloss, give it one nice solid coat, then come back in about like half an hour, give it another coat, and let that dry. Now this is the weathering. This is great, this is a lot of fun. I basically made this sword super shiny and pretty looking, and then I'm just going to look like I beat the crap out of it. So, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a mix between black, yellow, burnt umber, and dark brown. I'm going back and forth with it, a nice wash, wiping it off. Putting more on, wiping it off. Going back and forth until I'm happy with it. I had a good time putting this one together. What do you guys think? I think I found a lot of tricks that I'm going to use in future projects as well, as far as like with the weathering and the aging of a prop. I haven't really done that to a prop as extensively as this. Also, the seam lines, I'm getting used to figuring out how to actually get rid of seam lines better. There's always one seam line that you can't get rid of. And with weathering, that really does help. It helps hide a lot of the crimes. I feel like that's becoming cliche at this point, but it does. It does. It helps you hide the crimes that you had while you're making the prop. I weathered it a lot. It's still real nice and shiny. That chrome, that mirror chrome, really does hold up really, really well. And I think it still turned out pretty good. I still like it a whole lot. Again, thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Definitely comment what you think I should maybe build next. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye. Oh, there. Right there. Look at that. Whoa, whoa.